Hello, everyone. This is Nicholas Ellis tonight. I'm here to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about several topics. I want to try to focus on a series of topics. Like, I think I did mention in the past I wanted to do a series on job interviewing. Um, I've been busy with work and stuff, but maybe one of these weeks we can figure something out. Um, Tonight I'm going to focus on how. Let's talk tonight about the art of a job interview when you have Aspergers. We're going to talk about that tonight. Um, when you go to a job interview, I would suggest that you practice with your wife or your spouse, your significant other, your family members, or whomever you work with. If or whomever you'd like to practice with. Maybe it's one of your good friends. Um, some questions would be tell me about yourself. Well, you could say, hi, I'm Nicholas. Nice to meet you. And yeah, I'm not going to go into the whole details of interviewing. Maybe sometime we could do some mock interviewing skills. That would be something I would be willing to do if anyone is interested. But make sure to sell yourself in the interview. Be confident in yourself. Smile. Um, Try to stay positive. Just because an interview is short doesn't mean that you didn't get the job. Sometimes the longer the interview is not some that I've always heard. The longer the interview, the better. Yes and no. It depends on the situation. Um, some things you might want to think about is you want to make a good first good impression. Like if I go in for an interview at, let's say, Johnny's grocery store. Now this is just a hypothetical situation. Um, you want to make sure you sell yourself. Do you have experience working with customers? Yes, I do. I've worked in the customer service industry for so many years now. Maybe you worked in it for 15 years. You can say that. Maybe you worked in the produce department for 15 years. That's good customer service experience. Um, the the interviewer may ask you, when was a time you went above and beyond to help the customer out? You could say, well, there was a time when I helped somebody out in the grocery department, and they were looking for an, an organic cinnamon, and we couldn't find it. So some places have like and you could tell you could tell in the interview if some places do have a device where you can find everything, like kind of like a phone, not an iPhone, but something similar. It's called like a. Some places will call it a My Device, and you can scan and find the products, and you can tell them in the interview about your computer skills and how you search for the product on the on the on the scanner for work, or the computer thing, the handheld computer we'll call it. And some things you want to keep eye contact in an interview. Just try to keep eye contact in an interview. I know right now with COVID-19 we can't shake hands and stuff, and that's totally understand. understandable, um, which is fine. Um, Try not to. Try to practice as much as you can before an interview. Like right now, I'm just practicing. I guess you could call this practicing in a sense, but I'm not going to a real job interview because I already have a job. I'm just giving you guys examples. Um, uh, Selling and marketing yourself. Tell them about your successes and what you do great at the job and what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And sometimes they will ask you, Nick, what are your weaknesses? You could say, well, uh, I'm not going to explain to you what the weaknesses are, but there's many things that are a weakness. Maybe you're a little bit slower at stocking the shelves for the local grocery store, for Johnny Smith's grocery store, and and you make a list so you can stay on task better. That's another solution to help you, and you can tell your interviewee or interviewer, the person that's interviewing you, that you made a list and it helped increase your speed when you were doing stocking shelves and stuff. Um, just to keep uh, the interview going good. They may ask you for a resume in an interview. If you're an international follower or watching my video, um, they may ask for a curriculum vitae. I am not too. I don't know too much about the curriculum vitae, but if anyone can tell me a little bit more about those, comment below. Um, I do want to help international people who are following my videos, but I don't know much about CVs or curriculum vitae. I know a little bit about the resumes and stuff, but the curriculum vitae or CV as you call them in Europe or internationally, I do not know much about. I think I would assume you would list your work experience, but anyone who knows a little bit more about that, comment below or just email me. I do have a link below, so yeah, just email me. Um, like accommodations for people with disabilities. It all depends on your state that you're in. It all depends on the country you live in. I know here in the United States we do have the 1992 Americans with Disabilities Act. I mean, it's a good law. It does protect you somewhat for people with disabilities and people with autism spectrum and stuff, but it don't really. I mean, it helps. Let's put it this way: it's better than what it was 50, 60 years ago. A million times better. I mean, way better. But we're actually lucky today. We got more awareness nowadays about the Aspergers compared to 25 years ago when I got diagnosed with it. I think it was around 1994 I got diagnosed with it. So there's a little bit more awareness now. So there's a little bit more understanding. I mean, not everybody will understand it in the workplace. I mean, you can tell your coworkers you have Asperger's. I mean, if you want to disclose your disability to people at work, that's fine. That's totally up to you. Um, I'm not going to tell people what they can disclose and not disclose because I I'm not that way. I'm not going to tell you that you can't disclose your diagnosis. I'm just not like that. Hold on, I will be right back here. I think we were talking about disclosing of your disability at work or your autism spectrum. If you feel comfortable disclosing it, you can. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, you don't have to. I wouldn't make a everyday thing of talking about your autism spectrum disorder or Asperger's every day. When it comes to burnout at work, that's something I really specifically want to talk about. Um, that is something I do want to kind of focus on tonight. Um, I am I'm kind of multitasking right now. If you are working at a job, uh, so, everybody with autism and Asperger's is unique. Not every individual with Asperger's and autism spectrum disorder is the same. So one person can work 85 hours a week and be fine, and the next person they can get burnt out from working that much. Um, I would say if you can handle working full time, work full time. If you can't handle it, just work part time. Don't burn yourself out. It's not good. It's not healthy. Um, it's not healthy for people in general. I mean, it's one of those things where, um, and you can kind of stop the burnout at work. Maybe take a vacation from work. If you're part time, um, most likely you won't be able to qualify for vacation time. But that varies from place to place. That probably varies from country to country too. Um, uh, there are some important things to understand about autism. Autism is not a mental health condition. It's a neurological, and therefore it's a neurological disorder. Um, Autism does not mean lack of difficult challenges in some people. Simply that they mask certain things. So, like some people, when they're working, they may mask their symptoms, and that can cause stress and overload or burnout. Um, I personally wouldn't recommend working 60, 70 hours a week, but that's just me. Do what you can. If you think you can only work 40 hours a week and only have 2 days off a week, that's fine. If you only think you can work 20 to 30 hours a week, that's fine too. Um, I'm not going to tell you what you can and what you can't do when it comes to your job and stuff. Um, there's each everybody's different when it comes to autism. It's quite a unique situation out there for people with Asperger's and autism. It seems like the unemployment rate is higher for people with Asperger's and autism, but there are ways. to get us out there and get us jobs. You have to look around a little bit. Um, there are vocational rehabilitation programs here in the United States. I'm not sure about other places. If there's any, I know I do have an international audience following me. Comment below how they do it in your country for people with disabilities and people with Aspergers and stuff. I'm kind of curious how they do it too. Um, so keep that in mind. Uh, I am by no means an expert at this. I'm just I'm just here to tell you my personal experience and where I'm coming from. Um, Everybody's different. Um, Try to find a job that best suits you, and most of all, yeah, don't burn yourself out. Meaning, don't wear yourself out and to the point where you're tired and physically exhausted and mentally drained. It's not good. 15% of autistic adults who have maintained work through adulthood, the exhaustion of daily sensory overload working in one of the world's, yeah, so you can, there's about an 85% unemployment rate with people with autism, approximately. That's what I've read in the statistics. I don't know if it's the same all over, but we'll just go with that number. Um, I would say try to work less hours. Don't work long hours. But that's just me. That's just my advice. I, I, like I said, I'm not an expert, but sensory overload can cause a lot of bad stuff. Um, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but working long days can take a toll on your on mentally and physically. I mean, if you're tired and you're only getting 3 to 5 hours of sleep a night, and you're working uh, 12 hours a day, I don't know how many days a week, 7 days a week. That's probably not good. Um, Try to get at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night when you're working. Um, that's just my advice. I mean, hey, if you can go on 4 to 5 hours of sleep, I guess. But like I said, I'm not giving medical advice here. I'm just saying, don't wear yourself out to the point where you're so tired that you can't think and can't function. Try to get 8 hours of sleep a night. Not everybody can. It's just kind of how it is. As you guys can see, I do drink a lot of water. Um, Excuse me. There are some challenges when you work for people with autism and people with the autism spectrum and Asperger's. Your anxiety can be a little bit higher. Um, I noticed with the whole COVID-19 situation when the pandemic first started, when I was working, I know the mask and stuff caused a sensory overload, and to my friends out there and to everybody out there, I I totally understand. I understand. It's hard right now. Things will get better. Um, we just gotta keep. We just gotta keep thinking positive, and things will get better. Um, that's just how it is. I mean, right now we gotta wear the masks. There's not much we can do about it, or the face shield, whatever you prefer. I guess something's better than nothing. That's just my advice, but that can increase sensory overload. And at my old job, what happened was is I was literally shaking from the sensory overload with the mask on and stuff. So my anxiety was so high, I was literally shaking. So I mean, I'd get so hot, and my anxiety would increase, and I was literally shaking. And that's not a good situation either. You don't want to be working and shaking because your anxiety is through the roof, and and then it slows down what you're doing at your job. Um, I don't I don't say about the old. I don't say where I worked at old places. All the companies I've worked for have been very good. Um, I can't complain about any. They were all good to me. Um, but if something like that, if you're like literally shaking, naturally you're gonna slow down at your job. And I mean, I don't care if you're working as a secretary at a car dealership, or working as, maybe you're working doing strictly data entry at some place for maybe a local accounting firm. You're doing strictly data entry, and if you're if you got that constant anxiety, it's going to slow your ability to do tasks down. I guess that could be sensory overload. I guess it could be a mixture of sensory overload and anxiety. And I'm not sure if it's really job burnout, because I wasn't really burnt out at the time when that happened to me. That's just an example. I mean, I know the last year has been tough, and I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I wish things in the last year could have been better for all of you. And I mean, I totally understand. I hear you. I'm with you. Uh, my this past year, my anxiety, or last year when COVID-19 first started, my anxiety was through the roof. I understand. Um, I understand how people feel. I had anxiety before, but I never had anxiety to this point where I was freaked out every day. But where you couldn't do simple tasks, or you were literally shaking when you were driving. I'm doing a lot better now, so it happens. I mean, we all go through phases in life where we have anxiety, or we have something like that. I mean, take a deep breath, keep calm, and everything will be good. That's what one of my friends tells me. I'm not gonna. That's it. And I mean, if anybody has any questions, just comment below. Um, like I said, tonight. I guess I'm just doing random topics tonight. If anybody had like with the whole anxiety stuff, I mean, you could go to a doctor and get on medications. I'm not going to give you medical advice. I mean, if your anxiety is to a point where it is making you not function in daily life, I would suggest going to the doctor, or going to a psychologist or psychiatrist. that's totally up to you. I mean, if you can find something to get rid of the anxiety, maybe like biking or skiing or exercising or something. Hey, that's even better yet. But try to focus on the positive. Things will get better. Things are starting to get better, but it takes time. It's just not going to happen. Uh, it's just not. I'm gonna toss this phone up in the air and everything's going to get better. No, it doesn't get. No, I just use that right now as an analogy. I know some people it's hard to understand analogies, and I mean it's even hard for me to understand facial expressions and uh, literal stuff. I mean, even when I was younger, I mean, people would say, "Nick, you can use pretty big words, can't you?" And I always thought, well, I can, yeah. I mean, I could really never carry on a social, really social conversation. I mean, it was always just the one-sided conversations. And I mean, if anybody's maybe ever talked to me, maybe you notice that. I mean, if there's any friends that follow me on here, or maybe you've noticed that with me, I don't know. I I notice it a little bit, but hey, and if you notice it, tell me. I'm not gonna feel offended. It's just something. Maybe it's something we all can work on together. Maybe it's something, and maybe it's something we can't work on. I don't know. I mean, what what can I do as an individual to advocate for you? What can I do to help you out? But the thing is if I if someone comes to me and says, "Nick, I need help with this," but you don't tell me what it is, I can't help you. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, you can't expect me to read your mind. If you got a question, email me, and maybe I can help you. Maybe I can't. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a counselor. I'm not here to diagnose anybody. Um, I don't give medical advice. I don't give financial advice. I don't even give relationship advice. That's just not something I'll go into. Um, but just remember, uh, I can offer some advice. I do. I am on the spectrum. I do have autism spectrum. It is now called autism spectrum. Um, it was. I mean, I know it was called Aspergers before. I think in some countries it's still called Asperger's syndrome, because I think technically with some of the insurance companies, even here in the United States, it's still classified as Asperger's. That's actually what one of the psychologists told me, I guess. Why, I don't know. Guess they don't really want to change it. Um, One of these days I probably will go live. Now, I've been talking about this for weeks now, but I haven't. But I think we can try to focus our energy, focus our positive energy, and try to make a difference in each other's lives. I mean, if you got another friend that has Aspergers, maybe you're friends online with somebody. Maybe you're friends in person with somebody. Tell them hello in the morning. Text them good morning. I mean, when people text me good morning, it puts a smile on my face. That's just how I am. I mean, or if they're having a bad day, um, ask them what's going on. Ask them what's wrong. I know some people don't want to talk about it. That's fine. That's fine. Some people like to talk about it. I like to talk. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of that. Um, but I mean, try to be positive. Try to be that friend that they can lean on. Not literally lean on, but be that friend that they can count on. Be there for them. And if that's just a phone call, if a friend wants to call you and talk, hey, I I like talking on the phone. I like visiting people. That's just how I am. Um, I'm not perfect. I sometimes communication is hard. I mean, isn't it for all of us? um, as you can tell, I'm quite relaxed tonight. Most of the time, I'm actually not this relaxed. So maybe one of these nights when I am really relaxed, maybe this would be the best time to actually do a question and answer. Like, what? How do you? What kind of routine do you have, Nick? Or what kind of routine? Well, so my routine is, I mean, I pretty much got a set schedule at work. I'll have to say it's actually pretty nice. Most of the time I work till 8 p.m. and Saturdays I work like 12 to 8 and Sundays 10 to 6. Every other weekend off. So it's pretty much the same schedule every other week. I mean, I can't complain about that. And I mean, if you got that set routine, uh, you'll you'll function better in life when it comes to people with Asperger's function better when you have a routine. Um, am I perfect when it comes to routine? No, nobody's perfect when it comes to routine. Sometimes my routine gets disrupted. Sometimes my routine gets disrupted at work. I'll be stocking the shelves or something, and a customer will come up and ask me, "Can you help me find something in the sporting goods department?" And it's part of my job, so if I can't find somebody in sporting goods, I'll take the little. Most places have a kind of a device you can look up the product you're looking for. Maybe they're looking for a canoe or a kayak. You look it up, you can find it for them, and you satisfied the person, and you satisfied the customer, and like we're going back to that job interviewing thing now. When you if you're interviewing for retail, you got to remember you always want to bring the customer back. You want the customer to feel, I guess you want them to feel like they're accepted in the business. And I guess you could say you want them to feel like family too. I mean, you want to respect them and you want them to give the product that they like. And you want to make sure they always come back too. Um, like I said, I've been doing retail since 2007 now. So about 14 years now. So Any questions, anybody? Um, I will let you post. I am gonna. Um, Sorry, I'm just having a brain freeze. Um, this is Nicholas Ellis with Aspergers Awareness. If you like my video, click subscribe and feel free to share my videos with others. Thank you and have a great day or a great night wherever you are. Thank you.